Hey, I'm Tom from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're going to be comparing the AirCity Sling 2 with the AirCity Sling 1. So let's dive in and take a look at the upgrades and changes between these two models. Okay, so we have the AirCity Sling 1 on the left and the AirCity Sling version 2 on the right. And we're going to be going over the differences that I've found while testing both of these slings and taking a look at them. So, kicking it off, the biggest difference right off the bat is just the size of these things. So if I put them on their back and kind of spread them out, this is the version 1 and this is the version 2. So you can see that the version 2 can accommodate a lot more stuff. I personally like the size of V1 just a little bit better because I like being as small and as tight and compact as possible. But the version 2 has quite a bit more space. If you look at these up next to one another, bit of dirt there on this one. I've been testing this one recently, so that's why. So that is a big difference. The next big difference is the straps. And I think the V2 has drastically improved on their strap system. So V1, we had this big Duraflex buckle, which I personally like, but it's a little bit bulky. The strap is thicker than we can see on the V2. So let's compare those buckles. This is a Fidlock on V2. V1 has this big Duraflex buckle. And then V2 has these nice strap keeper management things here. So these are just some extra plastic hardware. So there's no sling strap hanging around. This just has elastic keepers in the V1 version. This is way more refined. So one thing to note here is as I was swinging this around my body, this thing would sometimes come off and then I'd be left with the strap just flapping around. So massive improvement on V2. That's, I would say, between the size and the strap, if you're thinking about upgrading, those are probably the two biggest things to consider when it comes to the differences in both of these slings. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of talking today already, making videos. Okay, so let's get into the more nuanced details. So if we look on the front here, we can see that the zipper pulls have changed a little bit on the front. So first of all, on V2, there's a Hypalon zipper garage that's gonna help. And the reason why that's there is you can see on V1, without the zipper garage, you can never really get that tight of a closure with a zipper like this. So even if I really push it up to the end, there's still a little tiny hole so that you can still get, dirt, dust, water inside of that. The zipper garage is gonna make everything roll off a little bit better. Also, we can see that there's now a pull here as well, and the zipper is less jingly because it's a smaller piece of metal on the version 2. So jingle test. Less jingly, right? Less like tinny. This one is hitting all over the place there, makes it very jingly. Version 2, less so. And better to grab, it's got a pull. Okay, so the next thing is on the sides. So this is plastic adjuster on the side, and on V2, it's aluminum. So that's a nice quality of life improvement, makes it look a lot better, makes it feel a lot better, and adds some durability too. So I really dig that. The one thing I guess you could argue is that aluminum is maybe a little bit slipperier. I haven't really run into a problem with this, but like on some Bellroy bags, we'll notice that things will slip when they're not supposed to, whereas with plastic, it can grip it a little bit more. So if I'm kind of looking at the nuances, that's what I would talk about. Also, this back pocket, it's a wider opening on V2, which I think is a great and welcome. There's the space for it, so you can just have a way wider opening than V1. So if you look at those differences, I'll hold them up right next to each other. You can kind of see that it's a little bit wider on V2, not by much. The main thing here is the zipper pull is different as well. So this is Hypalon, and it just sticks in there a little bit nicer in between that fabric welt. This had the whole shebang. It had the zipper, the zipper pull, the cord, and the plastic pull. So it had all that on V1. And now I'm just feeling, man, I really like the smaller size of the V1 personally. It just feels a lot tighter, but Yeah, more space on V2, and there's some compressibility as well. I mean, you can see that it's like folded too, so it kind of folds into itself and looks really nice anyways. But that's just the difference between the two. There's a handle on top of V2 with that extra width. There is room to put a handle there. So you can see maybe they could have put one on V1, but it would have been a little bit tight. Again, it's one of those things where like, I'm glad they added it. You have it if you want it. And it's especially nice if you want to stuff away the straps as well, which is another big difference between these two, is you can stuff away the straps on this one and turn it into a tech pouch. Maybe I'll do that for you. I just don't want to take up too much of your time on video here, but let me just put that together real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, there we go. It's packed in there, and it's a little bit of a tech pouch now. You can't really get rid of these side things. They're still hanging out, but the strap is completely stowed away inside. Don't have that option with V1. It's just this ballistic back panel here. All right, so that covers the main differences on the outside of the slings. Now, how about on the inside? We talked about the width of this pocket. Those are all overall pretty much the same liner on the inside. Let's get into this front pocket and talk about the key leashes. So the key leash on version 1 is just kind of this little junky clip, which I always complain about in all the Air products that I've reviewed in the past. And now they've upgraded it to a carabiner style that's a little bit more robust. So if I just hold those both up to the camera here, so you can see the differences. Definitely a fan of what I have on the right here. It's a little bit more, it's just nicer to use. And I think like every Air review we've complained about this, so I like to think that we maybe had a little bit to do with that change. Or at least maybe they talked about it in their design meetings, who knows. Let me just close that back up, and then we will look at the grand finale, the main compartment. Both have, oops, got the zipper pull stuffed in there. Both open up in a similar way. Again, if I just, we got 2 zipper sliders on both, so you can open it up from either side. And if I really open this thing up now, I got the strap in there. I'm just gonna pull that strap out so I can really open it up and show it to you. Go. Okay, really open that up and show it to you just so you can see how the interiors differ from one another. So we have more space in the V2, less space in the V1, and the organization is a little bit different between both. So in the V1, we just have this liner divider pocket here that spans almost the entire width of the sling. On V2, we have similar, except for, the liner is different too. So if you can see, this is a little bit shinier in V1. It's a little bit more matte in V2. I think they have like some antimicrobial stuff going on in here. I don't know. I don't really sure if it's antimicrobial, great. But, we don't have a way to test that, and I'm always a little bit skeptical of that. But nice little pocket nonetheless. And then we have this zippered opening here too. And there we go. You can see we have on the inside. This is good for any smaller or loose items. Arguably, it's the most secure pocket inside of the sling too, because it's behind one zipper and then another zipper too. All right, so that covers that side. Let's move on to the opposite side. We have mesh pockets here, stretchy, which I really dig, nice and soft in the hand, and you can fit some stuff in here. On the V1, it's just liner. It's just liner and with some elasticity on the top. So not too much going on there. I definitely like the mesh a lot better. And then behind this, I like the mesh better because it's stretchy and it can lock and hold things in a little bit more, although these are a little bit loose. Check out the video on this one. I did like a full review where I go more into that and I show what items are good in there and what aren't. And then this one has that secure pocket on the opposite side, just with a small zipper pull too. And you can see now there's a small zipper pull, but also a little piece of cord on V2, so it's easier to grab. So I like that. All those little details are coming together. And then on the Air City Sling 2, there's just an additional liner pocket on that side. Fits like a passport in here well too. So those are the main differences between the two. Again, we have the Air City Sling version 2 on the right here, Air City Sling version 1 on the left. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we will see you in the next video.